welcome to the 6th workshop for the Smart Patients Healthcare Handbook. I'm Laura Kulagowska, and together we're going to continue to inventory, organize, and analyze your health so you have more proactive control. You don't need a copy of my book to participate in these workshops. You can create your own Smart Patients Healthcare Handbook by working along with these videos. If you are doing a DIY version of your book, and this is the first video in the series that you're watching, I suggest you watch this one. And if organizing your health is of interest to you, go back through the playlist and get caught up. We're on the 6th worksheet. The Smart Patients Healthcare Handbook is a series of worksheets you would fill in and use to inventory, organize, and analyze your own health so you can take more proactive control. By filling the worksheets out in order, we're going through a thought process to get a better understanding of our health. These first 6 worksheets are mainly about inventorying, a little organizing. Pretty soon we're going to get into analyzing and using these worksheets in a variety of ways to become more proactive and have more confidence at the doctor. If you have a copy of your book, we will begin working today on page 44, the prescription log. As the name implies, the prescription log is a place to list all the medications and such that you're taking, even some that you may have taken in the past, if you'd like to create a bit of historical reference for yourself. I would recommend that. However, follow your instincts for what's right for you. Here's the format for the prescription log. It's pretty simple. List the medication and what it's for, and the dosage information. There's a place for side effects, the start date and stop date, followed by results. Here you can note if it did its job the way it was intended to do. There's also an extra line for any other comments you might have about that medication. In the upper right of each log item is a letter legend with a description of what each letter stands for at the bottom of the page. P for prescription, V for vitamins and minerals, M for herb, A for amino acid, E for enzymes, and HO for homeopathic remedy. If I've missed a category, add its letter to the legend, because not everyone would use all these categories. The legend is there for you to use or ignore. Do what feels comfortable for how you like to organize. There are 7 prescription log pages totaling 35 entries. I hope you don't have to use them all, but I'm beginning to suspect I might not have put enough entries in here. Let's talk about how to make the most of these pages and how you can use them in different ways that may make sense to you and how you organize. First, let's look at the log in overview. You can use the legend to identify the type of item that you're taking by circling its letter in the right legend area. You can just go by the name of the item and forget about the legend. You can separate your items by category and give each category its own page, or you can write them as you are prescribed them in chronological order. Fill in the start and stop date based on your doctor's instructions. Any medications that you would be on forever, write the start date, and under the stop date, I guess write forever. Some medications we might be prescribed more than once in our lifetime. For example, an antibiotic. You may want to write the start date and the end date really tiny, so you can have more than one entry if you need to. There is a blank line between dosage and start date, and you can use that space if you like. Something like a prescribed antibiotic might be the kind of thing prescribed to you several times throughout your life. You might fill in the start and stop date differently on that line by putting them into parentheses or writing them like this. Recently, my nephew had his wisdom teeth pulled and was given 3 prescriptions. Prescriptions can stack up quickly. In his case, 2 were for pain and 1 was a medicated rinse. You might write those prescriptions in as one entry, a group for that one event. List all those medications together in a group using the blank lines. something like this. If you have allergies to any medications, you should already have that noted in your health history summary log. If not, then I would place that information there. That health history summary log is one of the worksheets we will always look at in the waiting room getting ready for our doctor's appointment. You can duplicate the information here, but it will eat up entries in your log. It's really up to you. Well, I do think it's a good idea to put in some historical prescription detail into your Smart Patients Healthcare Handbook. If you think you might run out of entries, if you do that here in your log, maybe place a note for yourself that your historical prescription detail is on page 23. Page 23 is a notes page at the end of your health history section, and you can list them there in the same format so you have it handy. You can treat your page 23 as an archive of sorts. I couldn't find any statistical data on the average number of prescriptions per person in a lifetime. So I tried to think of ways to keep that section small but usable in a variety of ways, and then make sure that I had an overflow area in other places for some of the information you might want to write and track. You can reserve the prescription log just for prescriptions. I don't enter things like over-the-counter pain relievers in my prescription log because I take them as needed and I already know which ones work for me and have no side effects. If you're taking a over-the-counter as a forever daily remedy, write that in your log and discuss it with your doctor. I'm not a doctor, but I'm pretty confident in saying that I don't believe there are many over-the-counter medications that are meant to be taken daily forever. If you do decide that you would like to log your vitamins, herbs, amino acids, enzymes, and homeopathic remedies, you might run over the 35 entries, especially if you're a fan of those remedies. If it seems that you might run over by adding those along with your prescriptions, you could place all of the routine supplements that you take daily on that page 23 archive at the end of your health history section, if you're taking them for general health. List the therapeutic supplements, though, here in your prescription log. For example, I take cod liver oil pills when I remember. I also take Lysine to stop a canker sore that sometimes tries to work its way to the surface. I don't list either of those on my prescription log. The reason is I take both occasionally, kind of like an over-the-counter pain reliever, not for long-term use, and I have no side effects to note. If you restrict your vitamins, herbs, amino acids, enzymes, and homeopathic remedy entries to the ones that are used therapeutically for a specific reason, that's going to save you a lot of space. A good example of what to list on your log versus archived on page 23 would be if you were taking a high dose, often referred to as a therapeutic dose of any supplements. Long-term high doses of some fat-soluble vitamins like A, E, D, and K can actually cause symptoms you may then complain to about your doctor, so your doctor would need to know that you were taking these in order to rule that out when he's trying to diagnose you. Some doctors might not ask you the doses of vitamins or supplements you're taking, and you might not know to offer up that information. Large doses of some vitamins can interfere with the efficacy of some medications. Another reason for your doctor to know you're taking a high dose of a supplement. Even large doses of water-soluble vitamins can produce symptoms. Too much vitamin C can give you diarrhea. If you're not sure if you should list one of these items, or if you're not sure if your dose is too high, write it in pencil and talk with your doctor about it. Then decide, does it go in your prescription log? Do you archive it on page 23? Or do you not list it at all? I prefer a natural remedy, and I have no trouble telling my doctor that's my preference. But some people are fearful of telling their doctor that information about themselves, or they feel like they're challenging their doctor's authority. So they might not talk about natural remedies with their doctor, even though they might be taking some. We will talk about your health values and perspectives, plus how to integrate that with your doctor's values and perspectives when we spend some time in the office visit worksheets. I suggest for all of these worksheets, you write in pencil. If you write in pencil, you can transfer old information from your log over to the notes section on page 23 that you've turned into an archive, making room for new information. Once you decide how you want to organize your prescription log, try and stay consistent with that method. I know that's easier said than done, as we all change our methods and thought processes as we mature. Which is why I just write everything in pencil. That way I can change my mind. That wraps up the inventory and some of the organizing setup for your Smart Patients Healthcare Handbook. From here, we move on to the best use of the rest of the worksheet and how they relate to the information we set up here in these first 6 inventory worksheets. If you know someone else that you think might be helped by being more organized with their health, please share this video with them or share the link to the book in Amazon where they can check it out. And if you're interested in organizing your health, think about subscribing to this channel, because that's all I want to talk about. The link to my book and any other books or reference information that I discuss in these workshops are always going to be in the description box and on my website. Bye for now.